introduce or do you want me to?
I'll start. So, good morning, everyone. I'm John with Community Futures Laklabish. So just a few announcement before we start. Um, we have a conference coming up in October. The Power Up Night conference is tailored to entrepreneurs. So if you're interested, I'll be dropping the link here in the chat. And if you want to sign up on a monthly newsletter, I'll also drop the link here. Um, so So our presenter for today is Brandy Hardy. She works with the CF in Tawatina region in Westlac. She's been with them for 3 years now, and she's the digital person for your office. So I'll be passing it to Brandy.
Perfect. Thank you, John, very much. So I'll kind of give you a brief description of what I do. So I am their digital support squad here in Tawatna region. I also run, I'm also their junior BA as well. So I do a little bit of everything. I've been doing digital stuff for about 3 years with them. All the courses that I present are completely and utterly written by me. If you have any questions along the way, let me know. Throw them in the chat, throw your hand up, whatever you wish. I can answer them on the spot. I do usually leave a little bit at the end for questions and stuff like that as well. So this is kind of what Laklabish region does. We do the exact same thing. So we're a nonprofit organization that's dedicated to building economically diverse future for communities in our region. So their region, our region, there's I think 27 offices total. So there's quite a few of us. We offer training programs, regular business networking events like Power Up North. I've done it in the past. They are fun to do. They are very educational as well. We also have flexible business loans that we offer as well. And we do things like this where there are courses and stuff like that. Most of us also have some one-on-one ability at each place as well. So this is kind of a breakdown of what we're going to go over today. We're going to go over what is TikTok, how to set up your business account, how to use TikTok, how to understand their algorithm because it is completely algorithm based, optimizing your profile, a few tips and stuff like that to make it look better, what you should be posting on TikTok, which I do have a few examples of, making a plan, and digging into the analytics. A lot of people don't dig into the analytics of what's going on behind the scenes. So what is TikTok? So TikTok is strictly video sharing. That's all it does. It is launched in 2017. It has a very large following now. It is short videos, so most common that you see is around 30 seconds to a minute is most common. It is algorithm derived, so that means everything that pops up is stuff that you've on your own personal page, which I'll go over how that works, is all stuff based on what you watched and watched more often, that type of thing. So that's how it's algorithm based. It is short, bite-sized videos. Most common you'll see trending sounds and campaigns, which I talk a little bit about that type of thing as well later on. It has 1.2 billion active monthly users, up to 52 minutes a day. So just about an hour a day people are on TikTok. Some stats, most are female, most age range is more common is that 29 and younger, so it is a younger based platform. So if that's the audience you're trying to go for, it tends to be younger, very good platform to be on. Even if they're in that 30 to 49 range, as you can see, 42% are that, so still good, large amount. It has 3.2 million Canadian users on it. So that's just Canada, how many users it has. It is currently, as I recall, it's still the 5th largest. I did this a while ago, I had to go back and think. Facebook is still number 1. But it is 5th largest, so it is getting pretty big. This is a quick step-by-step on how to set up your actual business account. Big thing with TikTok is you have to set up a personal to make it into a business account. So that's why I explain it. So if you don't have one, this is how you do it. Step 1, easiest, simplest way. TikTok runs easiest on your cell phone. You can put it on your PC, but I find it runs easier on a cell phone. So you download your app. You create your account. You can either use your Google login, your Facebook, your Twitter, that type of thing, or you can use just your simple email as well and a password. So that part is personal choice. You tap the profile in the lower right-hand corner. You'll hit a little menu. There's 3 horizontal lines. They also call it a sandwich menu in the top right corner. And in your settings, you can actually convert it that way. So this is in those settings. That's why I like sending this off to people afterwards, because they can have the step-by-steps easier. This is where you actually switch it over from a personal account to a business account. So that's why you have to make a personal first, and then you switch it on over. You pick a category that best describes you. Just like most platforms, I do find their categories are very limited. You might not find something exactly for what you do. Find something that best, that's closest to what you do. Because I do know from experience that this part is a little bit more generalized. So something that best suits your business. Add your email to your profile. That way people can reach out, makes it way easier. So this is actually digging on how to use it. So I do go over very basic as well, just because I never know who's used it, who's not. So I go over very basic stuff as well. This main page is your For You page. That's why I have it circled in this picture itself. Your For You page is completely algorithm-based videos in an infinite looping form. So that's where you just sit there and scroll. It's infinite looping. That's where you get lost in that 45-minute of TikToks. So the stuff that comes up here is completely algorithm based. The more you watch a video, the more similar videos you watch, that's what's going to show up for you on your TikTok. The following page, so this is where you follow other people, just like anything else on platform based. You can follow people. This is where it would be friends, is what they call it. I follow a lot of businesses and stuff like that on ours because ours is business based, so that's who I like to follow. I also follow everybody who follows me as well. Your Discover page, which is where you can actually search and discover your trending sounds, your trending hashtags. Excuse me. And all that neat fun stuff. So if you're looking for something in particular, this is how you go about doing it. One of the things that I actually like searching most common is marketing tips. They have lots of really good tips on TikTok on actually how to use Canva and stuff, and they're usually really good on how to describe it. The other thing that you can find on there is lots of other neat, fun, goofy stuff as well, but keeping it more business. Posting on TikTok. So this is how you actually post straight from the app itself. That's how I tend to use mine. How I do it myself is I record a video on my phone and then I hit the plus button. If you do it straight from the app, it'll bring up your camera and you can record a video right then and there. All the editing and stuff like that is all in there as well. Their editing is pretty user-friendly. Right here is where you'll find your edit. There's captions, there's videos, there's stickers, there's filters, there's all kinds of stuff. The most common that I use myself is I like making sure I have captions on there, because most of my videos are talking based, so it's easier to have captions. So if somebody has any kind of issues with just being able to hear in general, they can read it as well. The caption of the video, so that's your actual content of describing your video itself. They keep it very short. This does include, which I realized I spelled including hashtags. So your caption does include all the hashtags you use. TikTok itself is very hashtag based. That's part of the algorithm basics of it all. So in behind the scenes, the hashtags is what helps bring stuff up for you as well. So that's why using hashtags on TikTok is very important. Following, so the follow button, that's where you actually follow people. That's where people follow you, that type of thing. So if you follow somebody, that's when it'll start showing up in your friends page. Likes is just like Facebook or Instagram. You like the video, it gives them thanks. comments, it joins them in the conversation. Saving, you can go back to it later. So I do personally save quite a few videos because I like going back to see tips and tricks on how to do things when I find them. Sharing, there's tons of ways to share with your friends. So you can actually share a video on your TikTok of somebody else. Excuse me, I've had a tickle in my throat all day. Stitch was actually where you can incorporate somebody else's video. I've done this a few times. If there's a video that you really like that might be worth your audience viewing, you can actually stitch it where you come up for 5 seconds, talk about it, and then that video pops up. The other thing that you can do, which is the duet, which is the split screen. So it divides the screen in half. You're one half, they're the other half. And you can actually talk about the video that is getting shared as well. That can be super fun if it's a video that you don't have the capability of making yourself, but it's still really knowledgeable to your audience. Duets are awesome for that. Pinning a video is another way to share it with your friends. Playlists, you can incorporate up to 5 seconds of somebody else's content. So that's where you can actually have another video, their audio playing, and that's how people are doing that on TikTok, is you can actually have that 5 seconds of content linked to your video as well. Algorithm. So the algorithm is always changing and constantly evolving. So when I make this, I can be a month down the road and the algorithm's changed. The basics usually pretty much stay the same though. So that's what I focused on. This tickle's driving me crazy. So hashtags, like I talked about, are very important and a large part of their algorithm. Best thing to do is have somewhat of a, they call it a hashtag strategy. The way I like explaining a hashtag strategy is basically having a bunch of hashtags either written down somewhere. I like to keep it in my notes on my phone because then it's easy accessible for me, because that's where I'm posting my TikToks, is mobile. And you can actually have all your TikToks, all your hashtags listed and pick and choose from them, which is super important because it is algorithm based. So the more hashtags you have leading towards your business, the better. This is what I already touched on. Hashtag strategy is going to be very helpful. Like I said, the best strategy, if you can't go in depth in a strategy, even a simple list of hashtags that you find are working for you. This is what the algorithm itself watches and why things pop up for certain people. Which accounts you follow, what do they search for, how long you watch a video, so how long people are watching your videos makes a difference. If they like, share, or comment on a video, they get push those videos more often as well. What they watch over and over again, so that's what they call rewatches, they matter as well. So all those, the algorithm actually takes into account with the hashtags and throws stuff at you. So if people are watching, which is fairly popular nowadays, is the aesthetically pleasing, like the unboxing videos, the packaging videos. The really good one to actually do is if you make products, the behind the scenes on how you make a product and just shorten it. Those are very popular. Hashtags tell you all about the video, the algorithm, what the video is. So that's why hashtags are so important with TikTok, is that actually tells the bot, I'll call it, what that video particularly is about, to be able to toss it at other people to make it show up on their For You page. Researching hashtags and trending hashtags in your niche. So your niche is very much so your specific business. It is your niche business and what you do. So anything that you find that is helpful hashtags towards your business is good to use. So they call that your niche, your specifics. They also help you get discovered on the For You page. So that's the other reason why it's important is you want to be showing up on other people's stuff more and more and more and more and more. I can tell you from experience, it is a slow start, but once you get going and get used to it, it does get easier. I have been there. I have done it myself. Checking out your rivals for businesses, a lot of people think that it's almost like cheating, but it's not. What you're doing is seeing what they're doing versus what you're doing. You're not copying them unless you're making the exact same video. Of course, you're copying them, but you should always see what your competition is doing, seeing what's working for them. You might be able to use some of their stuff as ideas to make your own content. So it's always good to see what your competition is doing. Checking the people that are following you, that are your audience and fans, see what they're using for hashtags. If they're posting, not everybody posts themselves, but if you have an audience that posts themselves, checking out their hashtags, it helps you see what they're using and what they like as well. So that all comes into play. Same with your competition. See what hashtags they're using. I always say use them responsibly. The way that I like explaining this is if you overload yourself with hashtags, the algorithm also doesn't know who to push it to because there's too many. So I usually say anywhere, I found on TikTok, anywhere from 10 to max of 25. That way it knows still what your video is about. Mixing your niche hashtags with broader popular ones. So example that I like using is the hashtags I use for ours is things like local business, small business, rural communities. The other more broader hashtags that I tend to use is the regions that we hit. So I also use the hashtags for our particular area would be Westlock, Thorhild, Athabasca, and then I hit the counties, so Sturgeon County, Athabasca County, Sturgeon County, all those. So I broaden it a little bit that way, as well as broad hashtags like Alberta, because we're Alberta based, Canada, we're Canadian based, that type of thing. So it makes niche very specific and also very broad. So using specific hashtags goes to your audience. Using broader ones makes it hit a bigger audience. So that's why it's good to have a mixture. Because there might be some people in that broader audience that like your business. Checking your audience, creating branded hashtags and use it. So making sure you have your own business's hashtag, something you use all the time for your business. It's not going to be a huge amount of views, but it's something you should have. We always say, keep it simple, keep it memorable. I see a lot of it. Ours is kind of long, but it's Community Futures Twatna. So it's really long, but we also use the hashtag CFTR, abbreviation for Community Futures Twatna Region. Simple, easy. Save your best hashtags in your notes on your phone, like I said. I find it works well for me because I can literally go in, copy, paste hashtags, so you're not sitting there typing them out all the time. I have about 10 variations that I keep in my phone. I'll add to them, subtract to them, that type of thing as needed, but that way I can copy a good group and it saves me time instead of typing them all out all the time. And time is very important to small business owners. You can also, if you find you need a little bit more, I'm not a huge fan of it myself, but I've had other people say it works well for them, is using hashtags in the comments. So throwing another comment on, throwing a couple more hashtags if need be. It is something you can do. It's not something I personally have done. I don't find it, I've done it here and there to test it. I didn't find it made a huge difference with my views. So some people say it's amazing, some people say it's not. It's one of those gray areas. Try it. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Doesn't harm anyone. Your profile. So I do find on TikTok their profile is very simplistic, very short, compact. They don't give you much wiggle room to explain what you do. So that's where your videos will come into play of explaining what you do. Your bio, we use the algorithm KISS. keep it simple, stupid. It's the best way to do it, I find. I know with them, they have a very limited character for your bio. Your photo should be a good one that represents you or your business. The other thing that I always suggest with this is your profile picture for TikTok should be your same profile picture for Facebook and Instagram. Reason being, if somebody finds you on TikTok and wants to find you on Instagram, they can tell by your profile picture it's the same exact company. So having consistency between all your platforms is big as well. So this is an example of our profile. I very much so kept it simple. Wanting to start or expand your business, we can help from loans to coaching. It's a quick example of what we do for Community Futures. I used hashtag entrepreneur because we want entrepreneurs. Alberta, small business loans, nonprofit, shop local, small business. So those are an example of stuff that you can put in your profile. I said this already. Consistency is key. You should have your same profile across the board. So your descriptions should all be very, very similar. If they have to be shorter, should still be very similar though at the same time. Your profile pictures should all be the same. If, example, Facebook has cover photos, the way I like to explain it is change your cover photo when you want to, but keep your profile picture the same consistency across the board. What should you be posting? That is what most people are probably here for. I have a few tips on what you can post and ways you can play around with things. The biggest thing I found personally is the first little while, if you've never posted, you're going to be camera shy. There's no way around it. It's just what's going to happen. If you're not that person, awesome. I am. Think entertainment. Not like a salesperson. So I know it sounds weird. You're trying to sell your product. You're trying to sell your business. But people don't like those pitchy sales on social media. They want genuine, normal talk. Something simple as, look at this new product we have. This is your benefits. That's what they want to see. They want to know why they should buy it. Not, you should buy it, you should buy it, you should buy it. The other thing that you can do is, I've seen a couple businesses do this and it works well for them. I know there's one, I'll call them a girl business owner. They're over in, I think it's Spruce Grove that they're by. So closer to the city, but their TikTok and Instagram is literally their best friends that own a small house decor business. They literally just goof around with each other half the time, which is very genuine because it shows their true relationship with each other and why they're business owners together. So that genuine part, if you're that person and can do that, nothing wrong with that. It is awesome. People like seeing it. Doing skits or memes, they're very popular there as well. Product showcases, reviews, recommendations. Like I said a little bit, taking it in behind the scenes. Taking it in behind the scenes, a lot of people like watching how their stuff is made if you're making it. If you're a hairstylist, a quick video of you, of course, ask your client if they're okay with it, of them quickly cutting your hair. It could be even half a minute of it, just something quick and simple. Or a couple, make it a slideshow, a couple pictures of what you do, throw it all together. Even that is better than nothing. So there's many things that you can do. It's just to find your groove, I find, is the hardest part. So you're going to have some trial and error. It's just what's going to happen. You can also teach, build interest in your community. The other things that you can do, which is very good starters, I find, is the how-tos. So maybe a how to use your product if it's something specific. Hacks for your businesses, could be hacks for whatever your area is. So like myself, I like doing hacks of Canva because that's my audience. My audience is small businesses that need social media help. So I'm going to show them hacks on how to help do things like that. What not to do. So if you have something that there's things you shouldn't be doing with it, it's a good one. Explainers, explaining yourself, your business, what you do, why you're doing it, reasons that people might need to buy your product. So say you're completely sustainability, explaining how you're that. Nothing wrong with that, makes it easier. 5 things too. whatever it happens to be that works well. 5 things of, I'm not sure off the top of my head, I'll be honest. Mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. People like seeing those mistakes as well. So say, the example that I like using, because it always comes to mind, is say you make soap. I find it's one of the easiest examples I can always think of. If you're a soap maker and you make a mistake making your soap, so say the color's wrong or something, show it. Nothing wrong with it. People might be like, oh, that looks really neat. Can I buy some? People like seeing those mistakes because we're still all human. Humans like seeing other people make mistakes. Don't be afraid to experiment with the topic, with the depth, with the length. So make some small ones, make some longer ones, see what works for you. So that's why I said there's going to be some trial and error with TikTok. Product tutorials are always good. Facts about your product or industry. If you have a very specific industry or very specific product, explain those facts. It could be a couple part series, even depending on the product, which makes your life easier. You have a huge area you can tap into. Establish authority and keep it real. So establishing that you have the knowledge and that authority in that industry, but you're keeping it still genuine. Behind the scenes, which I talked about it, employee spotlight. It's a nice simple one. Spotlight an employee. Say you have 10 employees if you do. If it's just you, say, hey, I'm the owner, I'm the operator, I'm the designer, whatever the case may be. Makes it easy. Again, you have a little bit of stuff to play off of that way. Being authentic. People like seeing the authentic you. I know sometimes it's hard, especially when you're starting out. It does take time to be that normal, authentic you. Trends, you can hit the trends if you wish. Keep in mind they are on about a 90-day period. So they're usually really popular that first week, then they slowly decline. Lean into those trends if it's applicable to your area, of course. I always say this for all platforms. Reply to comments, reply to your comments. If they follow you, follow them back, that type of thing. Keep engaged with your audience themselves. Unexpected or funny things. So say you're making a video and it totally just messes up, but you think it's funny, guaranteed other people are going to think it's funny. Post it, see what happens.
Hey guys, it's Brandy here.
So from here, I'm going to show you a few videos. Some of them are myself. Some of them I have taken to be able to show you guys what the different types of videos are. So this is kind of your 4 main ones that I've seen out there. This one is face-to-face with the camera. This one I tend to do the most. This is literally me babbling on to a camera is all I do. It creates a low barrier of entry. The hardest part I found was being that person, showing myself off in front of the camera and posting it. I found that was the hardest part. If you go to our specific TikTok page, if you scroll down, you can see the first few I made, and you can actually see me jittery and jumpy. And I used to take a couple videos of each one and figure out which one fit I like the most and use that one. Now that I'm more used to it, I take 1 video usually, sometimes 2, especially if I mess up the words bad, which happens, and post it. So I keep it very simple now. I find if I overdo it, I tend to not end up posting it all. So I try to just, works for me, I wing it. I have a subject and I just go for it.
From Community Futures Whatnot region again. I am hoping to plan some late September, October courses coming up. I'm wondering what you guys want to see. Current list that we have would be creating social media content. We have mastering TikTok, branding and rebranding, SEO for small business, so search engine optimization for small business, mobile photography. We also have Facebook for business as well as.
So you guys get the idea. I'll continue on. So this is a very low barrier, very simplistic. You don't need anything special, good lighting, and your phone. That's all you need. And an idea of what you want to talk about. If you're a script person, use a script, write down what you want to say. I've tried scripts. I'm not good at them. I find just me explaining what I'm trying to say works better for me. Again, you'll have to play with what works best for you. So this is a product showcase video. This one is very simple. There's no talking, no nothing. It makes it fun. You can be creative with them. It can be as simple as this is what I'm trying to explain. So it doesn't have to be anything super fancy. The background is fancy in this video, but the basics of them showing their product is very simple. That's it. They show their product. They show that it's a serum. In the description, you want to explain what the serum is, maybe a little bit more of a close-up of the product in the label. Other than that, you can have something as easy as this. The other thing that you can do is create it in software. So stuff like Canva is most popular, of course. You can use a bunch of other ones, like I know you can use Adobe has a version, and there's something else too. I forget the name of it off the top of my head. I tend to use Canva. I can also use Photoshop, but I find Canva easier because it's got stuff already there. I don't have to find my own. So it can be something like this. It's easy to outsource to people. If you're not a person who can do it, you can outsource it to people. It can be consumed without sound. This one, I think I threw a little bit of like that light, just like elevator music to it almost, just for a little something. It can be really simple and easy and explain what you need to do as well. So simple. So that's another one that you can do. They make it easier for you that way. If you're not a person who can be in front of the camera, this is a very valuable outsourcing capability. If you're handy with stuff like Canva or any kind of digital content creation type of thing, nice and easy for you. The other thing that you can do, I hate this video because the color looks weird, but it is what it is. You can do facing the camera with just sound. So no talking and just a trending sound. So this one was a while ago, so it's not trending anymore, but it was me playing around, seeing what would work. So it showcases a personality a little bit still, increases playtime. This one was really, really short, so people tend to rewatch it a couple times. And it does have a little bit of that viral potential because of the simplicity of it, which sounds weird, but it is true. So this one is literally no talking, just music, and I threw some text on it. So again, simple. That edit itself was all done through TikTok itself. I didn't use outsource anything. They have the ability to throw text on the screen, so that's what I used. Found a sound that would work and just made the text pop up when the beat hit. That's all I did. I had the video music playing while I was doing the video too, so that I knew when to point. So it can be something as easy as that, where you're not talking, but you're still the face of the business, face of the video. I found faces worked better with the TikTok algorithm than not. If you're not a huge fan of it, even if it's the first few seconds of introducing yourself or your business, that might be all it takes. But I do find faces get better views. So this is another one. This is more of that trending concept. So this one I change fairly often because I try to keep it with whatever trend is when I'm teaching this one. So this one is a very popular trend that's going on right now. It started about last week, so it's fairly new. You can make content. This one's a dog. I like animals. I can't help it, so I had to throw a video of an animal in there because who doesn't like dogs?
The way I give my paw, very demure, very mindful. I'm not like you other dogs. I don't do too much, like you. I don't put my paw up so high in the air. I'm cutesy with it.
So that's a very trending thing right now, is that very demure, very mindful. It is all over TikTok right now, and I find it's all over Instagram as well, and a little bit on Facebook. I find Facebook takes a little bit longer for those trends to hit. But this is an example of a simple trending video. That particular, very demure, very mindful, is trending right now. Other ones that I've seen is, I always forget his name because I'm bad at actors' names. The guy who plays Mandalorian. And Nicolas Cage, they did the one movie together, and I found that was very popular for a while, memes with them driving. And the funny look back and forth, I still see it. It's still fairly popular. So memes and stuff that's trending can be useful as well. You just have to kind of make it work for your business. Having a plan. Having a plan for any social media platform is key. If you don't have a plan, you kind of just are throwing it to the wind to see what happens is the easy way to explain it. The way I like telling my clients to have a plan, if you don't have a huge amount of time to make a huge marketing plan or anything for each platform or anything like that, make it simple. Have literally a printed calendar. It's how I do it lots, especially if I have a busy month or something and I don't have time to plan a whole bunch of stuff. I literally print out a calendar and write what I'm going to post each day and go from there. It keeps you kind of on target and up to date. I'll put a little I before Instagram, a little F beside Facebook, a little T beside TikTok, so that I know who I'm posting for and what they're for. I do have a large quantity of stuff that I can post, so I have a large basis. Once you get going, you can get a better collection of stuff to be able to post as well. But that I find is huge. The other thing that I personally like doing is batch my content. So for TikTok, what I actually do is, which I have a list. You can't see it that well, but I have a list of about 3 videos I want to make. Sometimes I do more, sometimes I do less, and I batch them. I'll make all 3 the same day. Have them all ready. I literally type out all the content and have them sitting on my phone to be able to post whatever I want. So batching your content like that, if you have, say, an hour time frame and you want to make a bunch of videos, it's a good way to just throw it at it. Takes an allotted amount of time and you have a bunch of content to be able to use. Same with taking pictures. Give yourself an hour, take a bunch of pictures if that's what you need to do. Planning ahead for something like that is amazing. I like batching. It might not be what's working for you. It's hard to say. What is your niche? What is your specific thing your business is part of? Are you going to get into the trends? Is that going to be part of your plan? What does your audience care about? Is there something specific that they care about that you should be tapping into? How often are you going to post? Do you have time to post all the time? That does become a bigger issue. Myself, I usually suggest clients posting something is better than nothing, but you shouldn't be posting once a month. It should be at least 2 to 3 times a week. TikTok, there's some people who post daily. I find I personally can't post daily. I just don't have the time frame to do it. So I try and post twice a week. If I only post once that week, that's what it is. So do take into account the time that you have. I'm not a person who says, Kate, go for it all. You have to post every day. You have to do multiple. Do what works best for you. If you only have twice a week that you can post, if it's only once a week that you can post, fine. That's what it is. It's better than nothing. This is one way to be able to figure out what you want to do with your TikTok. This is sometimes what I used when I very first started writing, because I was new to the video world, I'll be honest. I never posted. I wasn't that person. So I would come up with a title, my captions, my hashtags, what song I wanted to use, what time and date I wanted to post it. And then afterwards, I'd follow up with the analytics and give myself little ideas and notes that might work better for next time. So sometimes the start and doing something simple like this helps a lot to be able to look back and go like, yeah, that video was really good, or those hashtags were really good, that type of thing. So then you can see what's working for you if you're keeping track of it in some way or form. Again, this is going to be in the little stuff I send off. Experiment and stay responsive. So commenting, liking, if people do anything for your videos, if they comment back. It is an ever-changing world in social media platforms. Sometimes your plan needs to change with that. So if you find you have this huge plan worked out and it's not working, you might have to make a different plan. It happens. That's just the way things are. Once you have a plan and a strategy in place, keep going. Just keep going with it. It is disheartening to see low engagement and views. It does happen at the beginning. If you wish, I can actually pull up the analytics of my first few videos versus my more recent, and you can see it does take time. You have to experiment, see what works. You have to post things. If it doesn't work, try something else. That's all there is to it. It's ever changing. Some things you might think it works really well. It might not. It happens. It is disheartening, but it is part of learning with the learning curve with stuff like this as well. Digging into your analytics. So this is the in behind the scenes to show you what videos are working and what's not working, essentially. So this is digging into the in behind the scenes. When you have a business TikTok page, you can see your analytics. So this is behind the scenes, same as Facebook and Instagram. They have analytics in behind the scenes of seeing how many people it's reached, who's sharing it, how many shares, that type of thing. Same thing. Once you've been posting for a little bit, I usually say at least 5 to 10 videos. It'll show you better analytics than if it's only like 1 or 2, and you can see what's working and what's not. That way it has a couple videos for you to be able to look off of and see what's working. This will help you keep your strategy and kind of know what's working and change that strategy to keep it more relevant and working better for you. So this is an example of our analytics. So this is the last 60 days. This was just this year. So it is in July and September. I didn't post much in the summer because summer. No other comment than it was summer. It's our slow time. We don't run too many courses because we don't have too many people sign up. So there wasn't too much content to be able to throw on. So I did basic stuff like what we do, who we are, what loans we offer, that type of thing. So very basic stuff, nothing too special. So we hit decent amount of video views, decent reach, a couple profile views. So not bad, nothing to complain about. You can see your engagement. So if somebody's liked your video, comments on it, shares on it, you can actually see all that stuff, which is super handy because then it shows you what people are liking, what people want to share about your business. Followers. So this is an example. In that time frame, I gave 5 followers, not flowers. They're like flower, they bloom. It does take time to get followers, especially with TikTok, I find, because there is more capability of liking your page than following. So we have about, I think right now we're hitting about 300 likes, but we only have about like 40 followers. So that does happen. Keep that in mind. You might not have 1 million followers right off the bat. So this September 2nd, so yeah, 36. I think we're at 40 right now because I posted not too long ago. Audience engagement 25. We hit a decent amount of reach. So if you actually dig in, you can see what's working and what's not. And you can actually see, which I think is the next slide, yes, what each video is doing. So an example, the top one, it had a lot of views, some comments, some likes. This one did better. They are very similar. I might have used different hashtags. That's probably the bigger thing. But again, see, Office, I do it here. All my videos are here. That one I got a little bit more comments, a little bit more likes. It could have been the time of day as well, which is very possible. I find with TikTok, later in the day posting works better than first thing in the morning. I think it's everybody sitting on the couch then after supper. So I find posting later in the day helps more. Remember to have fun and keep posting. The more you post, the more you'll learn what's working, what's not working. If you stop posting because it's not working, you're not going to get anywhere. And then contact info. I threw my email up if you wanted to reach out for anything in particular, but you can contact Community Futures Lac La Biche as well. So if you have questions, ask away. I don't mind. Or if you wish, you can leave too. That part's your choice.
Can I ask an unbusiness related TikTok question?
Sure.
Is there a safe way to create a profile for a child that they don't have access to users, vice versa, so that they can use the video features?
No, what I would suggest, if they just want video features, is that all they're looking for?
Yeah, just to be able to create TikTok-like videos.
Use the app called CapCut. They
Okay.
don't post anything, but it has all the same video editing features and recording ability.
Okay, cool.
Because
Thank you.
TikTok they have no security protocols for kids yet. It's supposed to be a certain age group, right? So they have no security protocols for kids.
Right, okay.
Brandy, I have someone here with me.
Sure.
And she has a question.
Hi.
Hi.
So I got a few quick questions.
Go for it.
So first of all, how can we keep up with the trend, in your opinion?
Best way I found to keep up with the trending videos, it sounds weird, but literally go on TikTok. About 20 minutes. I set a timer because I will go down the loophole of TikTok. I'm not going to lie. Everybody does. I set myself a timer so I can behave. And I spend about 20 minutes on it. Reason being, the For You page will feed you that trending stuff. So usually you'll see it fairly quickly. So you'll see one video and then next thing you know, you see 3 or 4 like it. That tends to be the trending stuff that you see fairly often, or literally if you search, which is kind of the cheater way, but it does work. If you search trending, it will show you trending videos as well. But I find even just going on and watching a few, they'll pop up.
Okay, cool. And a few more questions. I see that you're showing us that dog, that people talking while they're showing the dog, like pretending thing.
Yeah.
Do you have like an app or do you have like a website that you go to for creating those fake overvoice or?
You can use, TikTok has some ability built in, but the other one, which actually I suggested earlier, works really well and a lot of people use it for that stuff, is that CapCut app. So what they actually do is make the video and edit it in CapCut, then post it on TikTok. It's
Okay, so
free. There's no charge for it. It's not a paid one at all, which is why I love it. And it is very, very popular as well. And I've used it. It is really user-friendly.
That's cool.
Oh, chat here.
Sorry. Okay, I'm just gonna ask one more question, then I'll be done. So in terms of like hashtag that you mentioned, what is the best way for us to creating our own hashtag, and how do we populate that to our clients or customers of our business to make sure us using it, them are trying to use it, or?
Yeah. So the way that I always say is if using your business name in some way or form is the best way to have a trending one, I usually suggest think of a couple, search it, see if anybody else is using it first, of course, because you don't want to be intertwined with something you might not want to be, because that does happen. So coming up with a couple, searching them in Facebook and TikTok to see if people are using them and what they're using them for. If they're not one that is very popular, I would suggest that one. And then what you can do to get your clients or whatever the customer is using it is having literally paper sign. It's a little old school, but I find it works. Follow us, like us, whatever, use hashtag this, and people will start using it. The other thing that you can do is make a post about it saying, hey guys, if you want to share stuff about us, use hashtag this.
Okay. Cool.
Literally, the best thing you can do is reach out to those people and tell them, hey, this is what we're doing. Can you use it? They'll either do it or they won't. There are some people who love that stuff. So some people just go crazy for it. So
Great. Thank you so much.
no problem. And then I had a comment in the chat. You can only have one profile per thing on TikTok. So you can only have one business under a personal profile. Yes, as far as I know. I could be wrong. They might have changed it. But when I made mine, I could only use one.
So with that, how would I create another account then?
You would have to use a whole new email address to be able to, if you had like dual businesses, you'd have to have multiple logins.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Oh, she has one more question, Brandy.
Oh, go for it. I don't mind.
Sorry. So I'm just wondering if you had experience with this. So if our business is facing different kind of audience, couple group of different audience within, but we only have one account to advertising that for. What is the best way to not be overwhelmed with the rest of people, like this information they are not interesting, but also target to the right group? Or like, I guess it's not like if we have like 3 portfolio under one business account, like how do we balance each portfolio, how much we're advertising for each, and then how much frequency we're posting it, and not to overwhelm people with, oh, there's like 5 posts per day instead of
The
being
way
more.
that I usually let clients know with any kind of social media is I call them sell days, is what I call them. 1 day to 2 days a week, I try and sell the actual product. The rest of it, I keep light, goofy, that type of thing. Our TikTok is more so of informational is what I use it for, but our general normal posting, that's what we find works well for us. So we post a lot of, I'll think of the word, cartoons. There we go. I'm like, moment of cartoons, of like, I have a couple clients who like inspirational because they're yoga. I have a couple clients who are yoga, so they have motivational Mondays. So motivational stuff related to yoga makes sense, go hand in hand. So finding stuff that works well for each individual thing and having maybe specific days that you're posting for each kind of profile.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Instead of like advertising for each of the courses, program, whatever.
Yeah.
So have a set date that just focus on the entire thing of that area.
That's your focus of that area that day. That's your focus of that area that day. I find that works well for us. It works well for us. Like I can't say much else.
Sweet. Sounds good.
Makes sense.
And do you have any other suggestions? Sorry, I'm asking so many
No.
questions.
Oh God. I don't want.
Do you have any suggestion for when is the best time for influencer getting involved with business? And if so, what kind of the influence bring it to the business that is going to help us?
Influencers are a little bit harder. I find once the business is a little bit more established, if you're just starting, it's harder to get influencers. If you've been around for a little bit and have some background, I find the influencers are a little bit more. And the bigger thing that we're finding, which actually, it's funny, we just had a big chat about it a couple weeks ago with our DSS group that we have about influencers, which is funny, micro influencers. So they're the smaller but more niche influencers, so very specific that might work well with your business. So they usually have a smaller following, but they usually still get a good reach. So a big influencer costs a lot of money.
Yeah.
So the capital has to be there to have one. The micro influencers, you might be able to get 2 or 3 and spend a little less, but have about the same amount of reach. And the big thing with the micro influencers, you have to do your research on an influencer, of course. I always say that. Make sure you're looking into them. But is making sure that they match up with your business. If they don't match up with your business, it tends to not get the reach that it should because they're just throwing stuff out there that they're getting paid. So it's like, yeah, here. So I find that's huge, of finding that influencer that works well for what you guys do.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
Okay, any more questions, anyone?
Yes, I have one question.
Sure.
If you have limited time, to be on social media for your business and your business provides a service, which platform would you say is your biggest bang for your buck? Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok?
It depends on where your audience is, what age range you're looking for. If you're looking that, I'm going to say 20 to 40 range, Instagram is going to be your better bet. If it's more of that boomer age gap or it's that older generation, Facebook is where they are. If it's that fairly young to just out of college, like that 25 to 30 range, TikTok is where they're going to be. So it depends on what audience you're searching for on which platform you're going to want to hit. Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes sense. Thanks.
No problem. If it's very broad, I'm going to suggest Facebook, because they still are the top performing and still have the most people on it.
Okay, any more questions, anyone? Okay, okay, I guess that's a no. Okay, thank you. Okay, go ahead, Randy.
No, I was just saying, I think we're good.
Okay, so thank you for joining us for lunch, everyone. I hope you have a good day. I'll be sending a link to a survey. I hope you respond to the survey. Here, posted is shared is Brandy's information. If you have any questions, feel free to email her. Other than that, anything you want to add, Brandy?
Before you send off the survey, as soon as we're done here, I'll shoot you off that planner page and these slides as a PDF, just so people can review it, and that's all.
Okay. Okay, I guess that's that's it, everyone. Thanks for joining us and have a good day. Bye bye.